Well, friends, welcome back to JJPB. You know it is JJ with you once again. Okay, guys, I'm just going to get right into this. I'm going to put a disclaimer right at the top so that way you guys know what time it is. And before we begin, this video is for educational and informational purposes only. It summarizes publicly available statements from ASUS, NVIDIA, and retailers and media outlets regarding the RTX 5070 Ti supply situation. Okay. This does not claim any wrongdoing by any company, and how can I say this to you guys? Does not provide financial or purchasing advice at this time. The story begins quietly. Keep that in mind. Okay. Let's start off like this. A simple question from Hardware Unboxed. Okay. I'm still not recovering from the drama, but simple question. Hardware Unboxed asks ASUS, can we get an RTX 5070 Ti sample for testing? And ASUS's reply is no samples available. That's normal in business, guys. Happens all the time. But then, make sure you get your drink and snacks. But then, came the line that changed everything in the PC industry. The RTX 5070 Ti is EOL. Everybody's like, what? ASUS claimed, yeah, it's end of life. That single phrase detonated across the whole goddamn tech world. The PC world went upside down in a frantic. End of life means finished. EOL means done. No more production. And coming from ASUS, one of NVIDIA's biggest board partners, it sounded final. It really did. I was watching the videos myself. Hardware Unboxed double-checked. Retailers confirmed they couldn't order more. Distributors said the same to Hardware Unboxed. The pieces fit. The RTX 5070 Ti was gone. The video went live. The community exploded. Forums lit up like a Christmas tree. Reddit threads multiplied like rabbits. Viewers asked, how can a GPU that just launched already be dead? How can it be end of life? And that's when contradictions began. NVIDIA stepped in to calm, they're the kind of calm and corporate kind of people. You know how Jensen Huang is. I really like this shirt. I've had this shirt for 15 years when I was working in the restaurants. And it was really comfortable too. It's nice and comfortable. But anyway, Jensen Huang stepped in, calm and corporate. All GeForce SKUs are still shipping. No discontinuation, no cancellation, just supply constraints. But the shelves were empty. Oh, it gets good, guys. Stay to the end and don't forget to hit the like button. Please. The listings vanished, and ASUS had already said the words EOL, end of life. So what was the truth? And that's a question in everybody's mind. What was the truth? Behind the scenes, memory supply was collapsing, GDDR7 yields were low, and NVIDIA was prioritizing higher margin cards like the RTX 5080, the workstation models, the AI-focused variants, because we all know that the 70 class was more focused on the gamers. And they said before they first launched the 5080 and 5090, that it was being more designed towards workstation. But those were all rumors and everything else, and everything got wish-washed and everybody forgot. So Partners like ASUS were told to allocate resources where profit margins were the strongest. They did. That meant fewer 5070 Ti boards, fewer 5060 Ti 16 gigabyte units, and a quiet shift. I mean, just a quiet shift. Like the ocean flatlined and not a wave coming by. But they shifted towards the next wave of GPUs. But ASUS internal communications broke down. A PR rep gave incomplete information, but keep it in mind, was it? The information that was repeated, confirmed, and sent to Hardware Unboxed, which they made a video on. Then NVIDIA called, and suddenly the story changed. ASUS, they just issued a second statement. We're streamlining models, they say. Then the third. The RTX 5070 Ti is not discontinued. Earlier comments were based on incomplete information. The reversal was complete, but the damage was done. The community didn't buy it. You know, you have to understand, I wouldn't buy it because I've been in this business too long to know I can sniff bullshit. Because when a company says EOL and then says not EOL, the trust line fractures, guys. You know, I mean, you try to put your trust into a company and then all of a sudden they do an instant 360 and say, well, it's like this. Well, why say one thing and then say another? You're confusing the customer. The end consumer in the PC world is confused at this point. Totally confused. And in that fracture, guys, speculation thrives. Some said ASUS was covering for NVIDIA, or were they covering their own ass? That's the question. Others said NVIDIA was protecting its launch schedule, or were they covering their own ass? A few believe that the 5070 Ti was being sacrificed to make room for the 5080, because it cost more money to get it. And at the time, was MSRP $750 graphics card compared to a $1,400 graphics card. They were seeing dollar signs. And the truth, that's the question. What is the truth? It's somewhere in between. How about that? The 5070 Ti isn't officially dead, but it's starving. Production is throttled. Stock is just vanishing. Retailers are caught in, something called like effectively discontinued, maybe. And ASUS caught between corporate messaging and reality. It's trying to calm a storm that it's out of control. I mean, the gamers are totally pissed. I mean, I don't even have a 5070 Ti just yet. And I wanted to get one. But now they're doing this. I don't know. It's kind of, I'm looking at between the 5070 Ti and the 9070 XT. And the price on the 9070 XT, if it comes down just a little bit more, maybe that might be the card I want to go with. Because obviously, NVIDIA and ASUS and all them are not being upfront with everybody like they're supposed to be. I mean, you got to look at it. The RTX 5070 Ti represents more than just a GPU. It is a symbol of how fragile communication has become in the tech industry. One missed word on an email can ignite a global controversy. You guys know this, and I know this. One PR correction can put out a fire. But can it? The audience sees the chaos, not the nuisance. They see EOL confirmed and not canceled. They're like, I don't know. You're telling us that it was end of life, and next minute it's not canceled. And both of them were just flashing side by side. I mean, nobody knew what the real story was. I know Hardware Unboxed tried to do their best to get the information, But to me, if a company did that to me and tried to make me look like an ass, guys, I wouldn't tolerate it. I would not tolerate it at all. Truthfully. They see sold out banners and they still see in stock. Is that a question? Do they still see the in stock tags? They see confusion, and confusion kills confidence. It definitely did with me. But beneath the noise, the white noise and BS, the technical truth remains. The RTX 5070 Ti is suffering from memory shortages. So is a lot of GPUs. So is it because NVIDIA is using more towards their data centers and kind of skimping out on the consumer, the gamers, the people that make their world go round and, helps them pay the bills in the past and in the present? But obviously the future is more or less AI. NVIDIA is prioritizing higher end models because they're pushing AI. ASUS is reallocating production because that's where the money is, more AI. And the result is that GPUs that exist on paper, but not in the shelves. So if we hold up a piece of paper that shows a GPU, that's about all what we're going to get. Because if you go on and remember the 50 series go around, was that they were selling a piece of paper on eBay for $5,000 just to give the scalpers a reminder that, you can pay for a piece of paper, because that's all they're giving is a piece of paper. I don't know. It's Schrodinger's GPU, alive and dead at the same time. And that's the climax of today, guys. A story that began with a simple request for a review sample and has become a case study in how fast misinformation spreads when communication falters. ASUS didn't intend to start a fire. NVIDIA didn't intend to fan it. But together, they created one of the most confusing GPU sagas of the year. The GPU fire lit before the storm. So the question is, what happens next? If ASUS restores production on the 5070 Ti, it might quietly return. No press release, no apology, just stock reappearing. I mean, it's sketchy. If memory supply stays tight, it will fade away, replaced by the 5080, the RTX 5080, and the higher end cards. Either way, the community will remember this moment, and I hope you guys do. Keep this in mind. The day a single phrase turned into a global headline. Because in tech, perception is everything. It's what you see the first time that makes the best impression or the worst. And once you lose control of the narrative, like NVIDIA and ASUS did, you don't get it back so easily. You don't. RTX 5070 Ti isn't just a GPU anymore. It's a lesson. And I hope you guys take this very carefully. It's a lesson in communication, in timing, and in how fragile trust can be when silence meets speculation. And that's why we stand today right here with me making this video and telling you guys that this crap needs to end. I hope you agree with me on this, because a lot of people are starting to say, well, we're going to start going back to AMD again. We're starting to get some trust from NVIDIA and these suppliers, but now it looks like that we're starting to lean back to AMD once again. Even though we know that Intel should have kept up on their GPUs, which they did not. They could have been another company in the competitive market. Competition is lost, guys. The reason why it's lost, they're not making their sales. So they're looking at us like gamers are in a third world country, that we're not important anymore. You guys need to speak out and tell them you are important, because without you, they would never, ever, ever have a solid streamline of cash coming into their coffers. Point blank. Without the gamers and the PC consumers, they think big business is going to last forever. They think this AI bubble is going to last forever. It's not. It's a pipe dream. It's to make everybody believe that you're on this same dream. You're on this same walk. You're on the same path. I've been in this business over 3 decades. That means 30 plus years. And I have never, ever, ever in all this time seen this much crap about a revolution of AI. Back in the day, we all wanted something good when it comes to graphics cards. We were begging for something good as for graphics cards for gaming. But now today, looking back in the 80s to now, damn guys, I'm going to tell you, my graphics card right now is cherry compared to back in the 80s. You have to understand where I come from. Okay, I come from back in the day to now. I know some of you guys are just new and just starting, and some that have been in the business for a couple years. But let me tell you something. When you go to way back when computers were starting to come out to the market for consumers, there was no gaming. The only games you got on, let's say a Windows PC was Solitaire. And then you had to go to Walmart to buy your games on CD. Like World of Warcraft, that became a big thing back then when it first came out and everything. So you can see from back then to now, this is where the companies are screwing up. They're cutting their money source by kicking out the gamers. And don't think they're not kicking you guys out and me, because it's not good. I don't have high hopes for the next generation of hardware that's coming up. I don't have high hopes. Because I think from after DDR3 to DDR4 was a good thing. But now DDR5, it goes from one screw job to the next. I have a DDR5 system, yes. I have a DDR4 system, yes. I like my DDR4 just as much as I do the DDR5. So, prices are outraged. System RAM is just totally bonkers in the price. You guys make your own decision, but like I said, it is what it is. And we have to live through this nightmare. We have to live through this freaking nightmare. You can agree with me or not. That's up to you. But I want to hear you guys' feelings. Put your feelings down in the comments below. I want to hear your feelings on this. But anyway, guys, if you made it to the end of the video, and we do appreciate you right here on the channel. I do, because I'm the only one that's running the channel. So I do appreciate you guys. I do read your comments. I do try to answer them the best that I can. So keep that in mind. And don't forget about Wednesday, 6 p.m. Every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Unless something comes up and changes. But I'll make sure that, if it does, I'll put out a reminder of the upcoming video and the time. Just make sure you check in the time. That way you'll know that you'll be there on time. But if you made it to the end of the video, and like I said, we do appreciate you. Hit the subscribe button. Help out the channel. I love new subscribers, because you guys make this world even better, especially in JJPB world. And also too, hit the subscribe. Hit the like button. If you don't keep YouTube busy by putting positive likes on my videos, and make sure you're watching the videos from beginning to end, because we need a couple watch time hours, like 500 of them, 500 hours. We're getting close to hitting that milestone, but we do appreciate you guys 100%. So let's keep it 100. Just saying. Until the next time in the next video, you know it is. Guys, we'll see you on the next one.
Never slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit.